Hi children, welcome back to the online class of Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayur. I am Swati, your IT teacher. How are you children? Hope you all are fine. So children, in our last class, we have discussed about the working of neural networks. And from that, yes, we now know that neural network contains an input layer, output layer and at least one hidden layer. And there will be several nodes and there will be communication between these nodes and the communication depends upon the weights and thresholds. Okay. So these kinds of networks, artificial neural networks, use some sort of learning rule for modifying the weights and thresholds depending upon the inputs received by them. And this learning can stop once the training is completed, or even they can continue throughout the life of the project. Okay, so this method of learning is something similar to the method used by us. Okay, like we learn from our experiences or the data or the information which we will get from other people, isn't it? Like that, similar method of learning is used by the neural networks. And so our topic is how neural networks learn. Okay, so there are three ways for learning, in which the first one is supervised learning. So in this kind of learning, these networks are trained to provide correct output by using several example inputs. Okay, so these networks can be trained on the data that is provided to them. For example, if you are providing them with the data of students and marks, so after training, the network will be able to calculate the marks that the students will get by analyzing different elements. Okay, so in supervised learning, they are trained to provide correct output by using example inputs. Okay, and the next is unsupervised learning. So here in this type of learning, it is only provided with inputs. It does not receive any information regarding the output. Okay, so on the basis of whatever input that is provided to that network, the system has to evaluate itself and find out the different elements related to it. Okay, and they are mainly used for estimation problems. And the next is reinforcement learning, in which the neural network learn based on the feedback received by it. So it can be positive or negative. If it is positive feedback, it will help the system to recognize right or correct output. And if it is negative feedback, it helps the system to recognize incorrect or wrong output. Children, for understanding this learning process, let us recall the artificial neural network model that we have discussed in our previous class. So children, do you remember that neural network model based on NLP, in which the information in the system, okay, so that is the data that is provided by us, is received by the input layer, and input layer triggers the layers of the hidden units, and the hidden units trigger the output layer for delivering solutions. So this is one of the most common neural network design, and it is known as feed forward network. Okay, and how this neural network learns using the feedback. Okay, so the neural network learns through a element of feedback. The feedback tells the network if it has made a mistake or performed correctly. Okay, so this is the same system that is used by us too, isn't it? Whenever we touch fire, okay, what will happen to us? Yes, we will understand, or we will learn that the fire is hot, and we will understand that it has to be avoided. So It is from the feedback that we get while touching the fire, on the basis of which we are learning something. Like this, artificial neural networks learns in the same way. And one of the ways of this learning involves back propagation, which means the output of the neural network is compared with the intended output. Okay, so whatever that the output we have to get, that is the intended output. So the output of the neural network is compared with the intended output. And what will happen next? The weights and thresholds of the different nodes are changed to reduce the gap between intended output and the actual output. So this process is repeated till we get the correct output. So what is happening in the system? The system continues to learn till it get the output. Okay, and this kind of learning is known as back propagation. Okay, children, and there is an activity given in the page number 107 of your textbook. So read it so that you will understand the manner in which the neural networks learn and work. So children, that's about the chapter Introduction to Neural Networks. Read your textbook and also go through the AI quiz questions that is given at the end of this chapter. Okay children, so that's all for today. Let's see in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye.